What's going on, peeps? Welcome to the 2026 Houston Livestock Rodeo. We just toured the carnival section. They had all kind of rides, games, food galore, fried Oreos, turkey legs, anything you can think of to keep your hunger at bay out here. So it's been really cool. So this is my first time actually being here, not only just for the concert, but for everything else that's going on before the concert, which is what I'm really here to see: the barrel racing, the bull riding, and the livestock events and the competitions. That's what we're about to check out now before my guy, Shaboozey, takes the stage. So we're here. Yeah, let's roll. The thing about attending the Houston Livestock and Rodeo is that you feel it way before you even enter the gates. You know, the saying goes that everything is bigger in Texas, and the rodeo is no exception to that. I mean, just the Fairgrounds itself was an experience. You have all sorts of rides that any child or adult could enjoy. You have the Ferris wheel, you have the ricochet. Then on the other hand, you have the food. They have things like brisket nachos, a brisket burger. Barbecue is really big down here in Texas, so more brisket, more beef, makes sense. They got cotton candy, even bacon wrapped cotton candy. Told you, more beef. On top of that, they had a wine garden and a lot of other activations. I saw a T-Mobile activation. Shaboozey actually performed outside at the Fairgrounds before his main performance later that night at the rodeo contest. So there was a stage that was set up outside. He came out there, performed, took pictures, had a photo op. I missed it, but I think it was a really cool thing. And if I could have saw it, I definitely would have went there. So just as a heads up, if there's an artist that you want to see, go during the day that they're set to perform later that day, and they may just perform at the Fairgrounds earlier in the day. I attended the rodeo in the Fairgrounds as a solo male, so if you have kids or children, this next part is going to affect you differently, but I say you need to give yourself at least 2 to 3 hours to be among the Fairgrounds, to walk around, to go through the activations, to take pictures. Sometimes those lines are really long, and if you want to get nice pictures in front of like the rodeo sign or other places that have photo ops, you're gonna wait, which is gonna take up more time. So if you have kids, that time is gonna take even longer. If you're eating, time's gonna take even longer. So you're gonna need at least 2 to 3 hours just to enjoy and walk around the entire Fairgrounds. The top thing on my list of to-dos this year at the rodeo was attend the actual rodeo. You know, years before, I showed up right before the concert or only went to the cook-off. I never really saw the barrel racing, bucking from the horses, the bull riding, the chariot races. I never saw any of those things. So this year I wanted to make sure that I saw all those things in full effect, and they did not disappoint. I started horseback riding last year, and my appreciation for both the animals and the riders and the competitors and what they do has just only heightened since then. So seeing the actual rodeo competition was extremely big for me this year. I think it's because it's sentimental. I grew up watching with my grandfather and my dad, and actually, I'm starting to do more vlogging and streaming, but the things that I do, I feel like I do some really cool stuff. Like, I'm from South Carolina, right? But I feel like it took me moving to Houston to really express like my countryside, right? And so my granddad used to come up watching Gene Autry and all of those old famous cowboys and things like that, right? So now I'm into the horse cutting, I'm into the bull riding. So much more than just a concert like years ago. Like, I want to see the actual animals now. So we're just making content about that. So now that we have the why, seeing the rodeo and the competition was so big for me, I'm actually going to go through a few clips and let you see some of the reactionary and some of the things that I was saying and seeing, so that you understand how big of a deal and how excited I was to really be there. He in that pocket. He in that pocket. Boy, he was in there. Boy, that horse got some dog in him, boy. That horse got some dog in him. Yes, sir! He was in that pocket, man. He was in that pocket, bro. He was sitting there, and the horse was doing all he could, but he was right there. Yeah. Yeah, that horse got some dog in him. Woo! Look at that thing, boy! Yeah, that's you. That horse got a German Shepherd in there, boy. Nah, that horse kicking, boy.
Well, now you can see what a world-champion bucking horse looks like. Look at that horse leap out of the bucket chute. Watch his hind legs kick high and hard every jump as he gets off the ground on the front end. You put a cowboy like RC on a horse that good, you're going to score like this. 86 points.
Yes, sir! Yes, sir! Let's go! I don't even know him.
The man said,
let's go.
Rounders, pay that man his money.
Not only did I get a chance to take in the competition, but I actually learned more about things like how they do scoring. So they judge a competition two ways, based off of the actual animal and the actual rider or the person. So the animal gets judged off how hard it is actually bucking. So anytime you have a bucking horse or bull riding, the judging comes from how hard that animal is really going out of a score of 50. If that animal has the front and the rear legs off the ground as it's bucking, that's just gonna cause the score to go higher because it's emphasizing, it's trying harder. It's a tougher ride than if only the back legs were off and the front legs were still on. Same goes for a rider. If a rider is really skilled but is not on a animal that is exerting a lot of force and really trying to get it off, it's not gonna score as high as opposed if it was a more inexperienced rider that had a tougher animal that did a better job. And that's when I learned really quickly that all these animals ain't got no dogs in them. Some animals got dogs in them, some animals ain't got no dog in them. So this is their bag, which means they don't have a saddle on, which means you're not as comfortable as what you would normally be when you're domesticated. This is if you go out into the woods and you see a horse, you're trying to get home, you about 50 miles away from home, this horse is the difference between a couple days and a couple weeks. Can you ride him? Let's see.
Luke Thread, Stephenville, Texas.
Come on, boy. All right. All right. That's solid. That horse ain't got a lot of dog in him, though. That horse ain't got a lot of dog in him. That horse doesn't want him off, but
right here. When that horse
I don't want to kill a man.
Goes back to the right. But a great job by Zeke holding those feet.
Yeah, he did his thing. That horse ain't got no dog in it. 81, I knew it. That horse ain't got no dog in it. He has a German Shepherd, something. Doberman Pinscher or something. Big dog. You gotta be a big animal. You gotta have a big dog in it. Here wrestling. Let's go. Love to see it, boy.
A chance to win season tickets for the 2027 Houston Livestock Show and Rodeo.
The steer tackler. That's actually where you have to ride on the horse, rope the cattle around the head, dismount the horse, run to the cattle, tackle it, rope it around the leg so that it can't get up. And you do this because in the farming world, you may need to separate a calf to give it a shot, to sterilize it, for any other reason. So it's a practicality to what they're doing in the rodeo. Out of all the events I saw, the number one event I was most looking forward to was the women's barrel racing. I think as a former athlete, I have a supreme admiration for any time any animal or person can run full speed, break down, change direction, run full speed in another way, and there being time in that. That's super hard to do, to control your body to where you're running full speed. You have a tight margin for error for every second counts, and being able to decelerate, accelerate, and then run at your top speed is really, really tough to do. So my hat's off to any animal, any creature, any person that can do that. So seeing the women's barrel race really had me locked all the way in, because a couple steps to the right or a turn that's a little too wide could be the difference in becoming first place and not ranking at all and moving forward. But these women had some dog in them. Like the way that they were handling those 1,000-pound plus horses around those barrels, not knocking them over, running full speed, getting their time, getting into the chute, running around the barrels, getting out. Love it. Coming up with my dad and my granddad, anytime the PBR or rodeo was on, we always watched bull riding. So I always saw how a bull really could just have its way with a man. Pause. But when you think about it, that bull has stuff tied around its private area. Man, if you can ride 1,000+ bull that's agitated, that wants to get you off of it by any means necessary for 7-8 seconds while you hold on for dear life, man, that's a really big feat. It's like a 7th wonder of the world type deal. I'm a huge Shaboozey fan, so seeing him in person, in addition to the rodeo contest, in addition to the fairgrounds and everything that the carnival had to offer outside was just icing on the cake for me. Now, even though Shaboozey is one of my favorite artists, I have to give some context between what the concert from the rodeo really is compared to a normal concert. Because we were in a NFL stadium, they have to do a really quick job of moving everything out of the way from the rodeo contest to set up a stage so that the artist and the band can perform on it. And I say that to say that during a normal concert, you're a lot closer to the performer. With this being the rodeo, everyone had to sit in the seats. You're not as close to the performer. So that's one thing. The difference between you and the performer during a rodeo concert versus a normal concert is a lot further. This year, in terms of the concert guests, I'm seeing that they are actually ranking them on 4 things that they determined whether it was a good performance or bad performance. Those 4 things is Houston Hold It Down, which means how hard do you rep or incorporate someone from Houston because you're in the Houston Rodeo. Your grand entrance, how do you enter your concert performance? A mic drop moment was one of the biggest moments of the night that really had the crowd stunned and just loving and wanting more. And then having a no bail factor. Can you keep the audience engaged throughout your entire duration of your concert performance, which is really caps at about 30 minutes. So it's not a super long performance. When it came to Houston Hold It Down, I think Shaboozey did a pretty good job because he mentioned Beyonce and Trey the Truth and some other Houston legends. Great job there. I think Shaboozey's entrance was probably one of the best entrances I've ever seen into the rodeo because he entered the rodeo in a horse-drawn carriage, like vintage style, old Western post office, Pony Express type of mail carrier carriage that he entered onto the rodeo. And I just loved it. It was so authentic. It was so real. It was so on point. He did a really good job with his entrance. But one thing I feel like Shaboozey could have did a lot better job of is actually playing more of his hit songs, especially from his album. Shaboozey only has one album. And from what I remember, he played the Tipsy song and he played Highway. I might die on the highway. Those are the only 2 songs that I can remember that he actually played from his album, which I think he had at least 3 to 4 that he could have played from his album. He also has a really big primetime song that's played on NFL Prime on NFL Thursdays. So I feel like he could have played that to get more of the crowd into it. So I feel like there was a big opportunity there to play more songs that were more relevant to his fan base. It wasn't just me, but I felt like more people in the crowd, people I talked to after the event, they were left wanting more of his hits because we felt like he played a lot of songs that weren't as big or that were newer. Shaboozey has won, I think, a Grammy recently. He's did a lot of other performances with like Jelly Roll and some other big name people, and those are on paper big songs, but I think for his core audience and his core fans, those aren't the things that we resonate with. So it was tough for us to really engage with him, even though I feel like he had a solid performance and he really was engaged with the crowd. This next thing is a double-edged sword because he brought out Big X the Plug, which I think for his fan base was right on point. Big X the Plug and Shaboozey go hand in hand in this Western country culture. And so I think having both of them on stage was really big. He also allowed Big X the Plug to do a verse from The Big Is the Largest, which is one of the Big X the Plug's biggest songs. But there was a missed opportunity there because Shaboozey and Big X the Plug has a song on Shaboozey's album that's called Drink Don't Need No Mix. And I think a lot of people know that song. They have a whole video for that song. DeAndre Hopkins is in that video. So it's a huge record and they didn't perform it. And I feel like that was a missed opportunity to really do something that was authentic. But I feel like they need to hire me to do the set list for the concert at the rodeo because the things that they were playing just didn't add up. Good job on bringing Big X the Plug out, but C- on performing a song that would have resonated more with your fan base. Then on the no bail factor, because he was playing so many songs that wasn't familiar to a large number of his fan base, we had to stick around because now it's like, okay, when is he gonna play the one song that we know, that he knows that we know, which is the Tipsy song. Someone pulled me up a double shot of whiskey. He was playing so many songs that we didn't know. We felt compelled to wait around because we really wanted to enjoy that moment with him. And so it made us stay there, reveling for the moment that he was going to play that so we could all erupt together. Pause. And to end with something good, I felt like it was really good to see Shaboozey, someone who was just at the Oscars, for being nominated in Centers for helping write some of the music that was in the movie. Someone who had just recently won a Grammy, someone who was really at the top and flourishing right now, to be so humble. He repeatedly said how thankful he was to be there and that crowd at the rodeo was the biggest crowd that he had ever performed in front of in his entire life. And he made sure that we felt that and he appreciated, he thanked God. He spoke positivity. It was just a really, really great thing to see someone at his level and someone still ascending to still be so humble and grateful for the opportunity that was bestowed upon them. And he handled it with care. He handled it with respect. Yeah, I can always say that I wish he would have played this song or that song. I think we all could. But I think he did a really great job with the opportunity he had. I think he'd get more opportunities from it. And, you know, he was really grateful to be there. And I think that's all anyone could ever want. You know, if you're given something, appreciate it, do the best that you can. And I feel like Shaboozey did that. So all in all, I would say if I had to rank his performance on 0 to 10, it's a solid 7.5 to 8, depending on if you knew the song that he was playing or not. But a solid performance. I feel like you can't compare a rodeo concert to a traditional concert because the props, the setup, all of the things from the production just aren't there for a rodeo concert as it would be for a much more professional and intensive and intentional concert. So all in all, I'm really happy that I went to the rodeo this year. I'm really happy that I made time to go to the fairgrounds, that I was there early enough to see every bit of the rodeo contest because that's what I was looking forward to the most. I'm happy that I was able to see one of my favorite artists and they did their thing. So I'm gonna look forward to going again next year. Shoot, I may even go back to the rodeo before it ends here in a couple days. But in any regard, if you've never been to the rodeo, this is a holistic view on everything that you can do, everything that goes around. Remember to give yourself at least 2 to 3 hours, especially if you're solo, to go to the fairgrounds. If you're with kids or you're dating, you want to play games and things like that, you're gonna need more time. Remember that the actual intention of having the fairground and the concert is for the rodeo contest. It's for these athletes that put their lives and their careers on the line, and it's them doing different competitions. So make sure that you enter the rodeo contest at the time that it says on the ticket. Whatever time that you buy the ticket that has the concert performer on there, that's what time the actual contest events will begin, and that's what time you need to be making your way to your seat so that you can see all of the cool things that I saw. And immediately after the rodeo contest goes off, you'll see the concert. So people, it's been fun. My name is Kelvin DeVoe. This is Houston Fun Without a Bar or Brunch. Make sure that you like, share, and subscribe to see where we go to next. If you have any place you think we should visit, let us know. We look forward to seeing you in the next one.